What's up, everybody? The Boxing Source checking in, and I wanted to just give my take on the news of Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, supposedly a done deal to fight on March. That's crazy. You had, of course, the reports that were coming from, Ariel Helwani or Turkey Al Sheikh there, with Saudi Arabia. You also had some things from Chris Mannix and also from Dan Rayfield, who provided additional details about this potential card that would be in March. But of course, the main story, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou. Oh my goodness. Now, here we are a couple of weeks from Anthony Joshua having this performance against Otto Wallin in the Day of Reckoning that was over there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, he was able to score a TKO victory there over Otto Wallin. That was, his third fight of 2023, third win of 2023. And, it was expected or projected that Anthony Joshua was going to face Deontay Wilder. But given what happened before Joshua's win over Otto Wallin, where Deontay Wilder lost to Joseph Parker by unanimous decision, and with one of those cards being a 12-0 shutout, it all but, nixed or delayed a potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and that maybe the demand for that particular fight pretty much had fizzled out. Now, it was said that they pretty much had an agreement to fight next after that Day of Reckoning pay-per-view. But with Deontay Wilder losing, was that part of the deal? Was it not? Who knows? But the thing is that, well, it seemed like right after that day, you pretty much seen that the demand or the interest of a fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder all but fizzled out. Now you got Francis Ngannou. Of course, we've seen what Francis Ngannou did in his fight against Tyson Fury that was in the same area in Saudi Arabia, where he was able to score a knockdown against Tyson Fury. You're a bad professor, motherfucker. Before it going to full 10 rounds, where you seen Tyson Fury get the decision win over Francis Ngannou, but there are people that felt like Francis Ngannou could have pulled off that particular fight. Now, even with that being said, there is still a lot of interest towards Francis Ngannou in the boxing ring. You even had the World Boxing Council, the WBC, rank Francis Ngannou in the top 10 or top 15 of the WBC rankings with just one loss. One fight, one loss, and he was already put in the WBC rankings. Now, I don't know, or at least as of the time of this particular video, maybe the WBC is up there in the rankings, maybe they haven't, but at the very least, you got Francis Ngannou that was included in the WBC rankings. Of the status of Ngannou in the WBC rankings, I don't think that will really mean much in the scope of this potential fight and the ramifications of it, because you're gonna have, of course, one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts in Francis Ngannou going in his second professional fight against former unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Now, that would be crazy. 2 fights in a game, and you're fighting Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua back to back. And pretty much within a 5-month span or so, 5 or 6 month span, that's crazy there for a Francis Ngannou. But on the flip side, Anthony Joshua, of course, had his win over Otto Wallin. Thought he was going to face Deontay Wilder, but that, I guess is not in the cards, at least for now. And he's going up against Francis Ngannou in what could be another big event in the sport of boxing. And some might say it might be even bigger than when Ngannou faced Tyson Fury. So now it's like, you're going to have these two titans of sorts duke it out in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Like I said, 26-3, I think his record is right now. And, multiple KOs. And then you got one of the hardest punches in the game in Francis Ngannou. So that would make for a huge, huge event. And I think that would kind of, put, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in a different light when it comes to making big fights, particularly in the heavyweight division. And on the flip side, what does this mean for Deontay Wilder? Well, there were reports out. You had Dan Rayfield talk about it. That you have this thing here with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. So what would be with Deontay Wilder? Well, there was like two potential things that could happen with Deontay Wilder. That would be on the card. One is that he could face WBO interim heavyweight champion Zhilei Zhang. Big Bang Zhang, that had his 2 wins over Joe Joyce, 2 stoppage wins over Joe Joyce, that made him be one of the big names there in the heavyweight division in 2023. And we were able to have a conversation there with Zhilei Zhang on the Boxing Source. So you'll be able to check that out. But Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder is a potential thing, or you could have Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang on separate fights within the same card. So either way, it seems like it's something that kind of like follows what we had with the Day of Reckoning pay-per-view, with multiple heavyweights being involved in big or high-profile fights. And that would be something if it culminates to Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou there. But I say, man, this is going to be a huge event. But there may be some that feel like, hey, I thought we were going to have Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Even with Deontay Wilder losing to Joseph Parker, we would have thought that we could still have that particular fight. And you even heard from Anthony Joshua immediately after his win over Wallin that said, hey, that fight is still possible. There still would be a demand of sorts for that particular fight to take place. But I guess, given the circumstances of what happened on December 23rd or whatnot, and maybe, if some interest as far as like financials are concerned that said, hey, maybe this particular fight is not the best fight to have at this point, or the most lucrative fight to have at this point. It may be that Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua would be a more lucrative fight, but that still remains to be seen. I don't know, man. I don't know. You have some that said, hey, Joshua moved on. Some that say that Wilder still wanted that Joshua fight and still thought they would still have the fight. But at least right now, that's not the case. You can share your reactions to this news, man. And, Deontay Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang in March? Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. You can share your comments. You can hit the like button to support this video. You can subscribe if you haven't done so already to the Boxing Source. But I'm still, kind of blown about this news that Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou could be 7 in the ring. Whew. Wow. But with that being said, that's it for me. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.